What's going on, guys? This is Sam, and we got a massive new report today from Minchiko over at TF International Securities. We got a big report yesterday saying that the iPhone X and iPhone SE would be discontinued soon, but today we basically got a look at every new product Apple is going to be releasing over the next couple of months in fall 2018. And the lineup is even bigger and better than I expected. New iPhones, new Apple Watches, new iPads, new Macs, new AirPods. The list just goes on. We actually have some good details about almost everything. So let's go ahead and jump in. As always, I'll leave a link to where you can read the full article for yourself. I'm working off one from 9to5Mac, link down below in the sources section, but there's a lot of good info here. I think the biggest bombshell is the fact that the Mac Mini isn't dead. My dad is going to be happy. My grandparents are going to be happy. Mac Mini users around the world that haven't seen an upgrade in 3.5 years are going to be really happy. This product was previewed to not be dead in a response from Tim Cook like 1.5 years ago, but everybody kind of thought, myself included, that it was probably just gone. It was probably never going to come back because Apple hadn't updated it, like I said, in 3 years. But according to this new report, Mac Mini is seeing a processor refresh at the very least this fall, which is going to be pretty huge. That processor refresh, though, for the Mac Mini comes alongside upgrades for all of Apple's Mac lineup. MacBook Pro getting a processor refresh, MacBook getting a processor refresh, iMac getting a processor refresh, and then there's also said to be a new low-cost MacBook coming that we thought would be called MacBook Air, but now Minchiko says it could be called something a little bit different. We just don't know the exact naming scheme. And then the iMac, in addition to getting that processor refresh, is also said to get some pretty significant display upgrades. So we'll see what happens there, but if you're looking or waiting to get a Mac, maybe one for school, if you can hold out till September, October, November, sometime this fall when new Macs are coming, you're going to get more Mac for less money. So I would highly recommend waiting if you can. And I say that because right now the Mac lineup isn't a good value at all, except I would say the iMac Pro I think is a pretty good value in its current state. However, the MacBook Pro, not really worth it right now. The MacBook is just not powerful in general. The Mac Mini hasn't been updated in forever, and the iMac hasn't been updated in 1 year or 2 now. So all of Apple's computers are ready for upgrades. I'm very happy to say that they are seeing upgrades this fall. We just don't have an exact release date just yet. It could be September alongside the new iPhones when those are going to be coming, or it could be October or November if Apple holds a second event later in the year after the new iPhones. So new Macs are coming. That's big news. Also from this exact same report, we get information about new iPad Pros. We have some information on the 2 new screen sizes. We're hearing 11 inches and 12.9 inches. These are going to have no home button. They're going to have Face ID, very reduced bezels around the edges. We've already seen so many incredible concepts, and the biggest question right now is whether these devices are going to mimic or have a notch like the iPhone X, or if they're just going to be completely even bezels all the way around, or maybe a third solution that Apple has come up with on their own. We don't know yet, but I definitely think no notch and just equal bezels all the way around looks the best on a screen ranging from 11 to 12.9 or 13 inches. So those also coming this fall. We heard that from Bloomberg. 2 sources are reporting this now, so I would definitely place my bets on the fact that new iPads will be coming sometime later this year, and I'm sure that they will look just as incredible as a number of concepts have portrayed them. As far as the Apple Watch, also big news here. We're hearing for the second or third time that the models are going to get bigger displays. They're going to come in at 40 millimeters and 45 millimeters versus 38 and 42, since we saw with the Apple Watch Series 0 all the way up through the Apple Watch Series 3. And Bloomberg had reported that your bands are all going to work on the new models. So even though the screens are getting a little bit bigger and the models are getting better, all of your bands that you have right now should continue to work with the Apple Watch, which will definitely make a lot of people really happy. It is worth noting, though, that we don't know if the actual size of the watch is going to get bigger or if the bezels around the screen are just going to be reduced to give us those larger displays. We don't know just yet. I would definitely place my bets on Apple reducing the bezels. That's a trend that they've shown us with the iPhone, with the iPad with the 10.5-inch model. Like, it's probably going to be reduced bezels, but potentially the new Apple Watch could also have a larger body. And as I was editing this, I was rereading one of the reports, and I realized that I forgot to mention one of the main new features coming to the Apple Watch this year, and that is enhanced heart rate detection and maybe some other features relating to that. It's all very vague, it's all very ambiguous right now, but we know Apple every year wants to make the Apple Watch more of a health accessory, even going as far as to invest a lot into non-invasive glucose monitoring very, very far into the future for an upcoming Apple Watch model, if it would ever come at all. So health features will continually be added likely every year, and enhanced heart rate monitoring will probably be the feature that comes this year. We just don't know exactly what enhanced health rate monitoring means. But the news that you've all been waiting for, not the new Mac Mini, not the iMac display upgrade, not even the larger screened Apple Watches, AirPower said once again to be launching sometime in fall of 2018. At this point, I'm not even that excited for AirPower anymore. It's become a meme because Apple announced it in September of 2017, and to this day, you still can't buy it just yet. But new AirPods alongside AirPower are said to be launching, and the AirPods upgrades that Bloomberg has reported this year are going to be pretty small. Just the ability to say, "Hey Siri," hands-free without having to actually tap your left or right AirPod. Those are like the big non-iPhone products that are coming. But on top of all those new Macs, the two new bezel-less-ish iPads, the new Apple Watch, new AirPods, and AirPower, we're also said to be seeing 3 new iPhone models. This is reiterated once again from Cohen. This report, we've heard that there are going to be 3 new models. I've probably said that in every iPhone rumor video since 2017 now. 3 new models are coming: a 6.1-inch LCD model that is reaffirmed here, and 2 OLED models, one at 5.8 inches, pretty much the exact same size, shape, width, and depth of the iPhone 10, and the iPhone 10 Plus coming in at 6.5 inches, also an OLED screen. Some reports calling the LCD model the iPhone 9, and the next generation versions of the iPhone 10, the iPhone 11, and the iPhone 11 Plus. So those are all the Apple products that are said to be getting upgrades, but what about everything else that we didn't talk about, like the Airport line, the iPod Touch? I actually compiled a list of all the products that Apple isn't said to be upgrading, and there's probably an equally big list here as all the products that are seeing upgrades. Starting off with the iPad Mini. Do not buy the iPad Mini 4 right now. It is a terrible, terrible value. It's got old processors, an outdated screen, an outdated camera, and it's actually more expensive than the iPad 6 with a better camera and a better processor. At least I think the camera's better. Just don't buy the iPad Mini. It's not said to be seeing updates. It's more or less discontinued, even though Apple hasn't said that yet. The Airport line, like Airport Express, Airport Extreme, and Time Capsule. That is Apple's wireless router lineup that has actually officially been discontinued now, so I wouldn't recommend buying those either because they are pretty outdated and will not be seeing upgrades. HomePod was just released in February. That is not going to be updated until next year. iMac Pro was released in December of 2017. That is also not said to be seeing updates, at least in fall of this year. Mac Pro coming in 2019. If you want this amazing modular computer that Apple is said to be working on, don't buy the current Mac Pro because that has not seen a serious upgrade. Really a serious upgrade since 2013, I think. So I would not recommend going for the Mac Pro now. Huge upgrade coming in 2019. iPhone SE, we had heard rumors about a 2nd-gen model. Now we hear the iPhone SE is getting discontinued. Would not recommend buying the iPhone SE now. And then Apple TV, not said to be seeing an upgrade this year. I don't really know what else Apple could add because they just added 4K last year. And last but not least, iPod Touch. We're still on the iPod Touch 6th. We are patiently awaiting the 7th generation version, but no rumors have said that Apple's working on one. Apple has not said they're working on one. The iPod Touch is the last iPod that remains up for sale on Apple's websites. But even at this rate, I don't think it's going to be there for much longer because even after this report, we're still not hearing, unfortunately, that a new iPod Touch is coming. So it's interesting breaking all of this down. While there are a ton of Apple products seeing upgrades, there's also a pretty big list that is continually being ignored, specifically the iPod Touch and the iPad Mini, which is weird because those were once really big, certainly headlining products. But that's all for this video. Those are all the new products Apple is announcing and not touching in fall of 2018. If you enjoyed this video, if you're excited for these products, if you learned something new, it does help me out if you take just 1 second forgetting to drop a like down below, and then hit subscribe if you want to see more videos like this in the future. And I almost forgot, let me know your thoughts on all this down below. Are you going to be getting all these products, just showing out thousands of dollars, or are you going to save some of that money and maybe only buy one new product, or skip all of this if none of it interests you? If you want to help support the channel and go that extra mile to help make future videos on these $1,000 products possible, you can buy a t-shirt, and that would be incredible. But for now, I've been Sam. I hope all of you are doing great, and I will talk to you in my next video.